Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Gala's price chart. And in here in the short term I am now seeing some very interesting structure that makes me maybe a little bit question what is going on in here, but I'm going to tell you why overall we are absolutely still 100% on the bullish track, and I'm going to prove it to you by checking many different possibilities. So first things first, if you remember the last time that we talked about Gala, we were right around, I believe, this area, and the idea was that most likely we have completed in terms of Elliott waves off of the lowest low in here. By the way, this is on 30-minute time frame in like very short term, a 1 2 3 4 5 wave up, which is a fantastic sign suggesting maybe in Gala the final low, the low of our correction starting from this high about 2.1 cents is already in. Now I said this is a great sign, but this doesn't mean that we're going to go straight up. No, nothing goes up or down in a straight line. So that is exactly why I said, look, in Gala, we are looking good. That's fair enough. However, what happens after a 5-wave up, even if you want to go according to the most bullish count suggesting we have hit our final bottom? Yep, you guessed that right. We are going to have a move down. And I was actually back then talking about maybe the 1.5 cents level all the way down here. So the fact that we got this move on the downside is by no means at all a surprise to me. I think it was kind of a given, but this move up right in here, which in it we actually took the highest high in this region, to me is quite fascinating. Why? Because in it I can consider two different counts. One scenario suggests that this is going to be a 1 2, and then let's say probably to about this point of wave 3, followed by like an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure into wave 4, and another move up into wave 5, which is unfortunately not a good sign. Why? Because this implies that maybe in Gala we are having an ABC zigzag, which the subwaves for it are looking like this: 5 up into A, correction for wave B, maybe ABC, maybe WXY, not important, and yet another 5 wave up into our ceiling. Now let's go on the live chart and zoom out a bit more. And if you want to say that this is indeed a 5 wave, then okay, what do you have? Essentially two sets of 5 waves on the upside, and between them this can be, in my view, definitely a correction structure. And well, this means maybe on a higher degree these are the subwaves for an ABC zigzag, which unfortunately got confirmed, since in this phase down in the last, let's say, 48 hours, we actually took this important low, the low of our billing. So this is one possibility in Gala, suggesting that actually the final low down here about 1.4 cents is not in yet, and this might be the beginning of a new move on the downside, and we should expect maybe something like this, more downward price action in order to take the loss. Can we have some other possibilities? The answer is yes. So if you remember earlier in the video, I said you can interpret this structure as a 5 wave, or maybe just a simple A correction for wave B, let's say a triangle, and another move on the upside into wave C. And you can absolutely say that from this point this is like a wave 1 correction for 2, another move up into wave 3 correction for 4, another move into wave 5 into a larger degree A leg. Now if you want to say this count is happening, then okay, I'm thinking about the possibility of having an ABC expanded flat, which looks like this. This is our initial move down into A, correction for wave B, which in it we're going to take this high, and we're going to have another strong move down into C, and in it we are actually going to take the low of our A leg. And in terms of the subwaves, you know what is going on: ABC down into A, ABC into B, and once more a 1 2 3 4 5 down into wave C. And what do we have in here? Definitely in here I'm thinking about an ABC zigzag, followed by, let's say, short, this time an ABC on the upside. And I think probably this is 1, this is 2, this is wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5 to about this point into, who knows, maybe a larger degree C leg of this whole ABC expanded flat. Now it's very important to understand that this scenario is actually very bullish. Why? Because it implies that off of the lowest low we are having 5 wave up into a wave 1. This whole move is a correction structure down into wave 2, And what's next if this count is happening? You know the answer, huge move up into wave 3, 4, 5. Basically, this count suggests the bottom is in, and soon we're gonna have a massive move on the upside. So far we checked out a bearish and also a bullish count in the interest of being 100% objective. The question is, which scenario is in play? You see, there is no certainty in any market at any given moment. We are only talking about different possibilities, so I really do not have like a definite answer for you. In fact, for that matter, nobody has a definite answer for you, but here is what I have to say. I'm not really sure whether right now at least that answer matters very much. Why? Because one way or the other, I'm thinking about having another move down in the short term in GALA. Why is that? Okay, you see, in my view, there's a very high chance that this is one way or the other a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. Followed by that, I'm thinking we are probably having, excuse me, like an A and then ABC down into wave B, maybe a 5 wave on the upside into our C leg in order to reach to about, I think it was like the 1.7 cents area, which is a very clear gap that was created as a result of this move down being a little bit too fast in H1 time frame. And here's a point, if this is a 5 wave down, this is going to be an ABC flat on the upside, then what are we going to have next? Well, this is the answer. Even according to the most bullish possibility, one way or the other, we may see in the short term yet another move on the downside in GALA. So bullish or bearish overall doesn't really matter. I'm thinking about having yet another move down, and then in here the next move is going to really matter for us. Why? Because you see, let's go around here. If you want to be bearish and you want to say we have a final top around here, okay, you need to be able to find off of the highest high a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. And in case that we get another move down in GALA, then okay, what we do not want to see is actually a consolidation pattern followed by yet another move down, because at that point I'm thinking you are absolutely able to argue, look, this is a 5 wave down, meaning this is unfortunately the beginning of a new move down in order to possibly even set new lows. On the other hand, if after this move on the downside right in here we get like a very strong bounce back in form of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without a lot of overlapping of the waves, and in it we take this important high, you know what, that is going to be actually a fantastic sign suggesting okay, the bullish count is happening and the bottom is in, and the next wave is going to be into a wave 3, meaning what, we are going to have a massive move on the upside. So overall in GALA, this move down so far from our POV at least was absolutely predictable, and here's the key point, one way or the other, I do still believe that we are set for some more downward price action, and all eyes should be on the move after this phase down, because that is really kind of the key and it's going to determine what is happening overall in this area. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in GALA's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.